If you can't create a lead magnet people want, it means you don't understand what they value. And if you don't understand what they value, you have no way to sell to them. Your lead magnet, aka your free offer, is your understanding of the market. And if it fails, it's because that understanding failed. Full stop. Now, most people default to creating guides, checklists, PDFs, but let me ask you something. When's the last time you downloaded one and actually used it? They're high effort to create, low reward to consume, and they're misaligned with how people online actually behave today. In short, they're not built for the modern, distracted, swipe-first brain. So before we dive into lesson 1, I'm Dr. Erin Jacques, entrepreneur, professor, and creator of the AIM method. I live at the intersection of data science, AI, and systems, and I help you use research-backed strategies and AI tools to turn what you know into income, even if you're starting from scratch without a team or technical background. So let's dive right in. Lesson 1 is all about the first key to building an effective lead magnet. So ultimately, that's understanding what is actually aligned with modern psychology, like with people's psyche. And very bluntly, that is low effort, curiosity-driven interactions like quizzes. So not the BuzzFeed junk. I'm talking about strategic diagnostic style quizzes that do 3 things. 1, meet people where they are. 2, get them instant personal insight. And 3, position your offer as the next natural step. Now, this introduces the vehicle of change. Robert Cialdini, in his book Influence, talks about the concept of commitment and consistency. That once someone takes a small action aligned with their identity or their beliefs, they're far more likely to continue down that path. It's just natural, right? So this is exactly what a quiz or a highly targeted lead magnet does. It creates a micro commitment tied to your specific vehicle of change. So instead of offering another bland freebie or guide, you're pulling them into a path that makes your solution feel like the next natural step. That's why we don't start with a sales pitch. We start with the vehicle, then we let the psychology do the rest. So here's the problem. You can't just make a quiz and expect results. It has to be rooted in audience intelligence, because if your quiz, or any lead magnet for that matter, is based on what you think is valuable instead of what they already want, and when I say they, I'm talking about your target, your prospects, you will miss the ball completely. So if you've ever made a lead magnet and it flopped, it's not your fault. You just skipped the part that matters. You skipped audience intelligence. For example, maybe you first found me through my Ikigai quiz to get insight about yourself and your niche. You took it, it gave you insight about yourself, and now you probably noticed that I just keep showing up in your inbox, right? That quiz worked because it was built on real audience insight, but it wasn't always like that. I used to build really stupid lead magnets that flopped, even though I'm a trained researcher. I skipped that part where you actually understand what your audience wants. But after today, you won't ever make that mistake. What I want you to remember is that there's a scientific approach to marketing. Research and entrepreneurship follow the same core principles. You test, you observe, you refine, and you repeat. This is the work that separates stuck entrepreneurs from successful digital entrepreneurs. And if you skip this step, you skip your business. Because I'm going to be very blunt. If you don't know what someone wants for free, you'll never be able to sell them anything, right? This is where 99% of people stay stuck. They're spinning, they're guessing, they're hoping their lead magnet works. But not you, not after today. So let's solve this problem fast. And it starts with combing through information online. But garbage in does equal garbage out. So if you're analyzing the wrong information, obviously you're going to end up with garbage, unusable results. And the only guarantee to analyze the right information is to know exactly where your people live and hang out. So now that you know that quizzes will capture attention, let's find out where your people hang out so you can figure out what they actually care about, their pain points, their frustrations, the questions that they have, and use those words back at them to get their attention. So you'll start by choosing an AI tool. Now, here are some of the best tools to help you dig into where your people are online and what they're actually talking about. So these tools are like your digital magnifying glass for market research, and you just need to pick one. So the recommended research tools: Google Gemini Pro 2.5 Deep Research Mode, and it's great for broad insights. Manus AI, I definitely would suggest you getting an account there if you don't already have one. And it's great for just getting really good insights about the topics and information and analyzing that information that people are talking about. Perplexity Pro Mode, excellent for community and content research. And then lastly, we have ChatGPT with browsing enabled. So use this if none of the above are available. Still very powerful, but I don't want you to overthink it. Just one solid search can give you 3 to 5 high value community forums or content hubs, because you don't need to examine a lot. You just need a good handful. You're not going for perfection, you're going for insights. And please, please do not fall into the research rabbit hole. This isn't a one-time task. Think of this as an ongoing pulse check of your market. What you're building here is a process. It's a habit of listening. Now, when you run your search, you're going to use the following prompt. It's going to turn you into a digital anthropologist. So you're literally just going to copy and paste this prompt. And you're going to say, act as a digital anthropologist and market research expert. I want you to research and find out where people, and you're going to insert your niche, spend most of their time online or share their thoughts. Give me a comprehensive list of digital hangouts, platforms where they actively engage, and include subreddits, Facebook groups, YouTube channels, Amazon product reviews, podcasts. I'm looking for places where they ask questions, vent frustrations, share wins, or talk about their struggles and goals. Prioritize active, insight-rich spaces. Format your answer by category and include the links if possible. This will help you to know where your audience lives, where they're talking, and the next thing is to mine the heck out of that data. Now you want to keep it simple. You want to choose the communities where you will do your deep dive investigation. Okay, get 3 to 5 active communities again. Don't overthink this. And I want you to bookmark or save the spaces that you will investigate. So here's what you've just discovered so far. You learned the psychology of high converting lead magnets, why most lead magnets fail, audience intelligence and how that is absolutely a non-negotiable, how to find where your audience lives, and AI tools and action steps to gather that information. And you saw the first step to making that all work. And that's to find where your audience lives and listen. Because if you know where they're talking, you can start uncovering what they're actually talking about, what they care about, and in their own words. But don't stop here, because raw community data is just noise unless you know how to translate it into a powerful asset.